Now we're on to delusional predictions.
Delusional.
Which, by the way, I feel like your dad was like on the verge of giving us a Joe Flacco delusional prediction because he likes him that much. I get it. Yeah. I mean, but it would have been great if he threw something out there.
Well, Joe Flacco is like on the Simms team of like we feel like he's been greatly underappreciated through his career.
Okay.
That people have just looked at like the stats, and for some reason with Joe Flacco, when he was winning, wins didn't matter then. It was the stats that mattered.
Yes.
And then, then, of course, their team wasn't good and all that, and everybody just continues to pile on. And I think he just gets sick of that.
The family Simms thinks that Joe Flacco's elite?
There was at a point where I think
Yes,
I do think he was elite.
Right. You settled the argument?
Yeah,
right.
elite.
Once and for all.
Yes.
All right, so you ready for this?
Yeah, I like it.
Scale of 1 to 10, how likely certain things are going to happen, because this is preseason. Guys talk. Sometimes they talk too much. Sometimes they tell you things that are inside their head that are personal goals that maybe they shouldn't share openly with everyone because some of them are crazy.
Yep.
But sometimes they're just interesting, and the one we're going to start off with is more of an interesting one, and it goes back to Baltimore, and it goes back to Flacco's former coach, John Harbaugh, saying the Ravens offense will be unlike anything we've ever seen.
So we're going, one is delusional, like
one
totally
is
delusional.
Like, yeah, this is
like
never going to happen. Offense a million times. It's
right.
Not unlike.
And 10 is, yes.
And 10 is like, I truly believe this is going to happen. It'll be revolutionary. What do you think here with the Baltimore Ravens offense being unlike anything you've ever seen?
I'm going to go with a 10 here, okay? I think it will be unlike anything we've ever seen. Now. That's great.
That doesn't mean it's good.
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
Thank you very much. That's what I wanted to clarify. I mean, hey, are we going to see run schemes and things that we haven't seen in football and it be a part of the consistent every down play calling that we've never seen in the NFL? And maybe some formations where, it's the offensive line and then it's 3 tight ends to the left, maybe with the tailback set to the left and Lamar Jackson in the shotgun and he runs out behind the 3 tight ends and the tailback's leading them and they got a pulling guard, and we're going to see, I think, a ton of shit like that. So from that aspect, yes, I think the offense will be unlike anything we've ever seen. Added to the fact that there's guys like RG3 and Trace McSorley who are these dual threat type quarterbacks. I think they're going to be thrown in the equation here. Greg Roman coming from San Francisco in those years with Colin Kaepernick, he has that stuff. But at the end of the day, that's great. It might be unlike anything we've ever seen, but at some point they're going to play some defenses that are going to go, no, we got a pretty good idea. We've seen 9 weeks now.
That's it. Yeah.
And we feel good about it. Now, can Lamar Jackson drop back and throw the ball consistently and move the game that way? Because we haven't seen that. And that's to me where it's still going to come back to. I think we're going to see a lot of creativity and cool stuff from them. But I think there's still going to be a handful of matchups every year where Baltimore's not just going to be able to go, we're going to line up and just run over the Pittsburgh Steelers. No, you're not. You better have something more to bring to the table.
Creativity is one thing. Durability is another, because you have Lamar Jackson, 147 carries and 7 starts last season. Okay, so now he's the starter.
Yeah.
He comes in. It's going to be unlike anything we've ever seen. He already said, when asked about Cam Newton's career high, 139 carries, Harbaugh said, bet the over this season. Well, listen, obviously, it's going over.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson potentially leads the league in carries. What do you think?
That, I would say, I'm going to go with a low number, like a 1. Because, again,
Is that just because he'll get injured?
Well, there's some of that aspect. I think they are going to be conscious of it to a degree because he is their starting quarterback. They don't want to totally kill him. And again, if he rushes the ball 10 times a game, 16 games, it's 160 rushes, right?
That's not going to lead the league.
That will not lead the league.
No.
It's not going to get it done. Like Ezekiel Elliott is going to be around that 300 carry mark. So I don't think it'll get that crazy. Now, will he get more than 160, maybe push 200? I don't think you're crazy there. I think that can be very realistic to where, okay, so 12 carries a game, 14 carries a game, that's going to put him around 200, right? It's going to be right around there.
Yeah.
So, I just look at it from that aspect and go, he's going to run the ball unlike any quarterback we've ever seen. I hope he can avoid getting injured. But the big thing is still, until I am proven wrong or see otherwise, man, I watch the Super Bowl and the playoff games every year, and it just seems like the quarterback that's in there and that wins these games wins the game from making plays and decisions and throws within the pocket. And I haven't seen enough of that in Lamar Jackson to believe in it yet.
Let's just quickly end this with this. Jackson, 695 rushing yards last season. QB record is just over 1,000. 1,039.
Yep.
Michael Vick.
Michael Vick, 1,000. Ooh, I think he can beat that this year.
He can take that down.
Yes, definitely. I mean, between just scrambling and drop back passes and then the design runs,
it feels like.
And if they're gonna, it sounds like they're sticking with this offense. Yeah, it feels like that record's going down.
Okay, next one. Delusional predictions. Amari Cooper. I think he told Florio this. 2,000-yard season is what he would like to have. That's what he is chasing right here.
Yeah.
He's a guy who wants to get paid.
Right.
All right.
Right.
And he's a guy who fit with Dallas.
Yes.
I mean, we got to go back. How many people hated that trade?
Oh, I
hated that trade for Dallas. And he shut a lot of people up. So you have Amari Cooper. Let's start there. 1 to 10, 2,000-yard season.
I'm going to give him a 1. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm going low. I mean, hey, this is a running. We just spent half the podcast talking about it's a running football team built on Ezekiel Elliott. Hey, do I expect the offense to be a little bit better under Kellen Moore? I hope it is. I mean, it's been about the least creative offense in football the last few years. So, do I think he puts up great stats? Yes. 2,000, negative Ghost Rider. I mean, come on. That's a special, special number. That would be a special, special year. And
well,
I think
it would be an NFL record.
Right.
Let's start there.
Right.
I don't think anyone thinks Amari Cooper and
the Dallas Cowboys passing offense are going to do that.
Yeah,
no, that's not the way they
What do you
play.
think's realistic?
Realistic? I could see him getting like 1,600.
Really?
Yeah, I think he could.
I think that's a monster year.
A monster year. That's a monster year. Exactly right. He's going to be the go-to guy, and they're going to feature him, and he's extremely talented.
So I take it that you're not high on Julio Jones going for 3,000 yards.
I mean, if we're going 1 through 10 and I could go negative 4,
Can we get a negative? Yeah.
I would go negative 4 on that. I mean, Julio Jones still in the combo for the best wide receiver in football.
Yeah.
But Calvin Ridley's there, who was almost had 1,000 yards last year. Mohamed Sanu had a bounce-back year last year. So I think all of them will take away from his stats, too, let alone they got 2 first-round offensive linemen, and we know Dan Quinn's been talking about running the football again, too. And it's Dirk Cutter and Mike Mularkey who believe in running the football, too. So, yeah, that's absolutely delusional. That's wide receiver delusional shit right there.
His career high is 1,871, which is phenomenal. It's nowhere near 3,000 yards. Okay, so let's stay with receivers. Odell Beckham Jr. wants to pass Jerry Rice's all-time receiving yards record. That's a goal. That's a lifetime goal. But you look at what Rice has done.
Oh.
The numbers are incredible. And then you look at the pace that Beckham's on now.
Right.
At this age, 5,476 yards at age 26. At that season.
Yeah.
Actually puts him right there at 9th.
Okay.
But you look on this list.
What's crazy? Well, look at his number of games.
Exactly.
He's played way less games than the rest of these guys on here.
But you also look at the fact that look who's on top of that list.
Yeah, I know.
Randy Moss.
Right.
Yet Randy Moss is not on top of the all-time list.
No, he is not.
Okay.
No, and I know where you're going. Go ahead.
And you usually don't get faster or better as you get older. Rice is a complete anomaly. The fact that he was putting up crazy numbers in well into his 30s, and he played into his 40s.
Yes.
Which is another thing.
Right.
Odell Beckham Jr. now, to do this, would have to play easily into his 40s, perhaps close to his mid-40s.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
So, I mean, the talent is there.
Yes. Yeah, the talent is there to be the greatest of all time. And if he didn't get hurt the last, year before last year, and even last year missing a number of games, I think that number would be much greater, and I'd go, ooh, he could put some pressure on this situation.
So, is it, it's a great goal to have. Is it delusional? Is it, where do you put it? Is it more delusional than Amari Cooper having a 2,000-yard?
It's not. I don't think it's more delusional than that. I'm going to put it on I'm going to go right down the middle and go 5 right there. Because one, like you said, the guy's got the talent to be that guy. And you really look through the first few years of his career. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. was on pace to he was leading in every category in the history of football after 3 years of his career. I mean, so he was doing things that were phenomenal. But I think the big question is can he last the test of time? Because that's where Jerry Rice is just unbelievable. It's Tom Brady-ish, right? I mean, he was just the first. He's running hills. It's all about all 365 days a year, taking care of your body, doing all that, being the ultimate pro, and that's what allowed him to play 21 years in the NFL. Odell Beckham Jr. is going to have to show that he's capable of that. It's not going to matter right now. He's young. He's in his prime. He could go out and party and never work out and do nothing and probably still be in the conversation for the best receiver in football. But 5 years from now, 6 years from now, if the workout's not legendary, then I don't know if he can last the test of time.
Well, he's not going to need the money.
Right.
I mean, so that motivation's gone.
Right.
But, all right, so Jerry Rice, 1,200 yards when he was 40.
It's insane.
Okay. But here's the other thing.
Yeah.
Who threw the ball to Jerry Rice?
Yeah, Steve Young, Joe Montana, Rich Gannon.
So a big part of this is now, for your entire career, someone who is great really needs to be throwing in the football.
Yes.
And in some ways, maybe that'll work in Beckham's favor at this point because now he is a young quarterback. So now if he stays with Cleveland, long term,
they could do epic things.
And this quarterback becomes who we think he can become.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I think it gets interesting.
I hear you.
I think it gets very interesting.
Because if we get through like 2 or 3 years here, and Baker continues to go in the direction we think he's going, and Odell goes in that direction, I would go, that duo is capable of 1,500 yards a year every year.
But of course, there's other weapons on there.
There's other weapons too, and that's the other thing too. That's what we'll have to take into account too. It's going to be about the style of play, how they play. Jerry Rice, he was on a pass-friendly offense, and he really only had to worry John Taylor sharing the ball with him and maybe Roger Craig out of the backfield. Jarvis. He's got Jarvis Landry there. Antonio Callaway's a pretty good player. They got some good tight ends. Throwing to the back is more in vogue now than it was back in those Jerry Rice's days. So, they'll all eat into his stats, but I still think it's going to be big-time stats-wise.
I don't think it matters that much. Because I don't think Beckham's greatness is going to be defined by longevity.
No, I don't
numbers.
either.
It's going to be, oh my God, see what he just did out there.
Like
mind blowing.
And we're already hearing that, right? Baker Mayfield had a comment on Sunday or Monday going, Odell Beckham Jr. does things I've never seen anybody do before. And that's all I ever hear about the guy. From Giants players, people in the organization, it's always that. He is freaky. I've said this before on Pro Football Talk. I don't know if I've said it on the pod, but I wish I could name drop here. But I'm just telling you, there is some big-time NFL hierarchy. When I talk to them about Odell Beckham Jr., I hear comments like he might be the best receiver I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just telling you, these are big-time people. We'll see if he delivers, but the things you see on film, the passion you hear about, he does have a good work ethic. He does want to be an all-time great. And from what I've seen on film, I see something really, really special.
All right. So big time. So we have Mr. Big Chest. Mr. Big Belly is
for my dad.
Your dad?
Yes.
And now he big time. All right. So Beckham, we'll see about that. Next one, Le'Veon Bell. All right. So Le'Veon Bell, nice year off. Well rested. Okay. So 500 touches. If it means we go to the Super Bowl, I could see that. Listen, that seems more like I threw this out there, and
yes. I'm going to put that on the low scale too, like 2 or 3. I mean, first off, if he gets the ball 500 times, this might be the last year of his career. I mean, he's going to be dead.
Well, he signed the deal, so that's why you say that after you sign the deal.
I think you're right. I mean, I think he's saying I'm going to do anything it takes to win football games and get us to the Super Bowl, all that. But 500 touches. I mean, come on. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott last year, I think he led the NFL in touches, right? And had 304 carries and 77 receptions. Right? So that's 381 touches. Are you kidding me? I just can't imagine anybody having another 120-something touches like that. Not even so. No, I don't think that's happening. I think he'll be a huge part of their offense in every way.
381 for Zeke, I've been told.
381.
381.
Right.
So, I mean, would you take the over on that? Would he go over
Le'Veon?
Ooh.
It's going to be right in that range. I do think it'll be very similar to that type of play.
I'm now told 406 for Bell the year before.
406 the year before.
Now a much bigger threat coming out of the backfield to receive the ball. But I don't know.
No, 500 is not doable. I would say he's going to be somewhere, though, between 370 and 400.
Okay.
I feel good about that. He's going to, I think in my crystal ball, if I had to go Le'Veon Bell stats, it's going to be around, over 1,100 yards, and I think he gets another 700 yards receiving, and is a big part of being split out at wide receiver and doing all that stuff because he's a phenomenal route runner and has phenomenal hands.
All right, sidebar to that, stay with the Jets. Delusional prediction or not, Adam Gase says this team will be playing meaningful games in late November and December. Not exactly, we're going to the Super Bowl, but it's still a prediction, and it's the Jets.
Yes.
And they don't often play those meaningful games in late November and early December. I think it's just once in the last 5 years that they did that. So
that's a good way to say it. He wants meaningful games.
I don't really think it's delusional at all.
No, I don't think it's either. And then you want to know how likely? I mean, the Jets are one of the teams I say watch out for this year. I'm gonna put that at like an 8. I am. I'm gonna put it that high.
I put it at 10.
Yeah.
Honestly, 9 or 10.
Be?
Late November.
Yeah.
Late November, meaningful game.
Right.
To me, that means at this point you're 500 or just above 500 you're chasing. So why not? Why can't they be right there?
I think they every bit can be that. And, Adam Gase makes those comments because he wants meaningful games because he knows it's just going to only be better for his team in the future.
I'll put it as a 9. I'm going to lower that. It's the Jets
9.
still. I've already lost confidence.
10.
I've already lost confidence in that.
But
yes.
I think you look at the Jets team, there's a lot of things to like. They improved the O-line, LeVeon Bell, receivers. Jamison Crowder, the defense already has some talent. They improved that too. So, yeah, I think the Jets are going to be a pain in the butt. I'm with you. I mean, I think they're going to be around that. Like, it's going to be December 1st, and they're going to be right around 500, and people are going to say, if the Jets win out, they can go to the playoffs.
How much do you believe in Darnold?
I'm a big believer in Sam Darnold.
To me, that answers.
Yes.
That's the answer to the question.
Sam Darnold only has one question to me about his game. There's only one thing. I love everything about his game. My biggest question will be his ability to back defenses off with pushing the ball down the field, throwing. That's the only thing I haven't seen in this game yet to where I want to go, ooh, just not sure where it is. He's a phenomenal short, intermediate thrower. He's got great pocket presence and feel in the pocket. When the play breaks down and it becomes backyard football, he's great at that. But if I would say there's one negative I took away from the year is, he's not the type of guy that can just flick a ball 50 yards off his back foot or 45 yards off his back foot. He's not a awesome down the field thrower, and you do need that aspect to a degree.
He's got deep threat.
Yes, they got the deep threat, so that's what I'm saying. It's just the one thing that I'd like to see more of this year, and I would just go, oh man, Sam Darnold is he's unstoppable.
All right, last one here.
Yeah.
And this is one I'm kind of fascinated about. This is Eric Ebron saying that he wants 17 receiving touchdowns. Now, in pure receiving touchdowns, that would tie Gronk.
And what did he have last year? I didn't even look at 13. Okay.
13 TD last year. He had 11 receiving touchdowns in his previous 4 seasons with the Lions.
Right.
Now, I'd also say those were highly disappointing seasons with the Lions because this was a guy who, coming out of college, I think a lot of people, me included,
too.
I thought he was going to step right in and wreck people in the NFL. So he was disappointing. Now it's Andrew Luck, and they have this connection, and he is clearly the red zone guy that Andrew Luck is looking for. But now he wants to go from basically being an underwhelming player to getting 13 last year to now improving upon that and getting 17 this year. Where does that stand, 1 to 10, in terms of
I'm not going to say
delusional factor?
Yeah, it's not totally delusional. It's not totally delusional. I'm going to give it I'm going to go like a 5. I'm going to go a 6. I'm going to go a 6. Yeah, how about that?
That's pretty high. I mean, you're talking about tying Gronk's record.
I know. I could certainly see him right around 13 and 14 again. I could definitely see that. The big thing is, within this system, the Philadelphia system, we see how many touches a guy like Zach Ertz gets, okay?
Yeah.
Andrew Luck, one of the reasons he's one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football is because when he gets close down to the red zone, he scores touchdowns. They don't settle for field goals. Not Andrew Luck. That's why he's the man. If nobody's open, he scrambles, he makes a throw, or he just makes a throw where nobody's open, and we just go, well, damn, it was the perfect throw. Nobody was open, but it was amazing. So, I think between system and, talent, offensive line, everything they can do, I think there will be some opportunities to flirt with it. I do. Now, the big thing is, again, a little like some of the other guys we talked about, like Odell Beckham Jr., does T.Y. Hilton steal a of his thunder? Does Paris Campbell, the second-round pick, there's opening some eyes there, steal a few red zone touchdowns? But I do expect him to be around that 12, 13, even 14 range once again because I just think it's tight end and is a huge part of that offense.
Well, and I also think it's just, to me, it was a long time coming. Where people are like, oh, this is out of nowhere. And it was, and I get that because of the first 4 seasons. But I still go back. I remember watching him in college.
Yeah, I know. He's a
explosive.
athlete.
No one could deal with him at all. So I don't know. I think there's a chance. I'm not as high as you. I don't think 6.
Yeah. You're going to go more than
I think
4.
he's right around this number again.
Yeah, okay.
I think he's right around 13, 12, 13, which would be phenomenal.
But phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, would probably lead the football as far as tight ends are concerned. So I'm with you there. All right, that was it. I mean, I'm delusional. I've only been talking for 7 hours today.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.